Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, from across all platforms to Menji Speaks Halloween. And welcome back to my Halloween music countdown series, where I'm counting down some of my favorite spooky time tunes because YouTube. But also because I feel like this gets far more overlooked than some other holidays music. You know who you are. If you're at all confused by this, go back to my first countdown video where I talk about my favorite World War II era music and explain it all, 'cause I'm not doing it here. Now, let's get on with it. The post-war era, which I consider to be the 50s through the 70s, saw the emergence and widespread epidemic that was rock and roll. Won't somebody think of the children? And Halloween was in no way immune from the grip of this disease. While I stated in my last video that I prefer the previous era, this one holds a very close second place in my heart. The post-war era saw the rise of artists paying homage to the likes of Bela Lugosi, Boris Karloff, and other regular monster movie characters and actors. Not that it wasn't without its own originality as well.
Stay still, wait when the ghosts and the goblins play.
They don't come much more 50s than this.
An elevator takes you down.
Frankenstein's Den by the Hollywood Flames embodies everything that was great about 50s rhythm and blues. Soulful harmonies, a baritone lead, and light guitar blues riffs. As you can see, we're well into the time when monster movies have taken center stage. Much in the way that the monster mashup movies were incredibly popular at the time. We refer to that now as a cinematic universe. Many of the songs at the time, like this one, were about various famous monsters getting together for a party.
The drummer man is really tough. Beating drums is not enough. He beats a coffin on the side. They call him Jekyll and Hyde.
I love the descriptions of all the attendees and hors d'oeuvres.
Then you will get your favorite dish. A chocolate-covered octopus.
Wait, what? Play that back.
A chocolate-covered octopus.
Of all the foods I would imagine monsters serving at a party, that was certainly not on my list. I guess in the 50s, chocolate-covered sushi would have been considered creepy. Nowadays, I'm sure this would fetch a top dollar at a downtown Pan-Asian California-style eatery.
Strychnine and soda pop.
That's better. Grab a martini and settle down. Way down for this classic.
Stay still, wait when the ghosts and the goblins play.
Just listen to that eerie steel guitar. Country music is back on a list with this jaunty little boogie-woogie tune by Jack Rivers. While Halloween music is no stranger to this refrain. I mean, you hear it all the time. I love this version most just because of that moaning steel guitar. It just chills you right to the bone. From then on, the rest of the song becomes much more lively. You got some boogie woogie piano. Steel guitar solos. And some hot fiddle in action to get your bones a-dancing. But it always comes back around to that chilling refrain. This one's got a great balance of creepiness and toe-tapping rhythms to keep you running back for more.
Stay still, wait when the goats and the goblins play.
Let's jump ahead a bit now for a creepy little ballad by Lee Ross, The Mummy's Bracelet. I love a song with a story, and this one's a good'un.
Last night at the museum, they were searching for a trace of the thief who stole the mummy's bracelet from its case.
Now, while this song was written in 1958, you can certainly hear the seeds of what 60s rock will eventually sound like. The Mummy's Bracelet tells the tragic tale of a thief who steals a bracelet off of a mummy on display in a museum to give it to his girlfriend. Naturally, mummies are... And so it comes to life to track down and retrieve its property. The song itself is simple enough, starting with a haunting bass line that's constantly playing over the song as it builds to a chilling, ghostly background choir as the story reaches its climax. And that's where this song really shines, in its story.
Give me my bracelet back.
The singer/storyteller, despite conveying a story about a mummy, really does a great job of playing it straight and singing with almost a bit of remorse in his voice.
She whispers, please don't leave me. Then upon the stairs, their blood runs cold because they see the mummy standing there.
As with most stories, it really should be listened to from beginning to end. So go check it out.
Give me my bracelet back.
Stay still, wait when the goats and the goblins play.
The night was dark, the moon was high. I was walking along, holding hands with my guy, when all of a sudden his breath became quick. His eyes began flashing, these words fell from his lips.
The post-war era could quite possibly be just as easily called the novelty song era. Everyone was trying to get their 15 minutes by writing 3-minute songs about new dance crazes, or narrative songs and ballads, and Halloween songs were no exception. Of course, we got classic gems like Monster Mash, Witch Doctor, and the Purple People Eater. But probably my favorite of the dance craze variety is an incredibly rare and elusive track by the equally elusive Sonny Richards Panics called The Voo Doo Walk.
The Dance of the Dead.
Yes, the Dance of the Dead. To add more mystery, the vocals on this track are attributed to a duo known only as Cindy and Misty, who, as it turns out, may or may not have actually written the song. Again, information about this song is sparse at best. Aside from its mysterious nature, there are a few other things about the song that I really enjoy. The vocal stylings of Cindy and/or Misty really remind me a lot of Brenda Lee, whose voice I also really enjoy.
I'll take you to the voodoo lair. It's mighty weird down there.
So I guess that makes this like the rockin' around the Christmas tree for Halloween.
The Dance of the Dead.
As you already heard, it starts off with a great intro which already gives it points over the typical refrain that keeps popping up. Yeah, hear that one. Let's all do the Voo Doo Walk!
Do a little walk, give a funny quiver, walk on back and give a little shiver, fly back in and then begin to stalk, just like a shadow, that's a voodoo walk. All the ghouls do it, it'll go to your head. Come to the voodoo walk, the dance of the dead.
It's not much of a voodoo walk,
Dance of the dead.
is it? Doesn't make it any less entertaining, though. Slide on in and creep this one into your playlist. You'll regret it otherwise.
The dance of the dead, do the voodoo walk. The dance of the dead, do the voodoo walk. The dance of the dead.
Stay still, wait when the ghosts and the goblins play.
I'm gonna admit, this is by far the weirdest track on all of these lists.
There's a pumpkin everywhere, the great, great pumpkin. I picked up the paper and I
Well, almost. Foreshadowing. The Great Great Pumpkin by Eddie Bell and the Bel Airs has got to be the noveltiest of all novelty songs. It's a kooky mix of 50s rock and roll and character skits. The bits of it that are actual music are great and danceable.
picked up the paper and a headline read, there's a new relaxation that's a sweeping the nation. Every boy on the block will have his head in the world, right into the pumpkin by his favorite girl. Well,
But the real standout bits are the skits that start out with the Great Pumpkin triumphantly announcing himself.
My name is the Great Pumpkin. What you want, you sonny boy?
That is both the most obnoxious and most amusing thing I have ever heard. Apparently, the Great Pumpkin runs an advice column for lovelorn teenagers to whom he offers questionable advice.
A young man writes, Dear Great Pumpkin, I've been going with the same girl for 6 years. Suddenly she throws me off for another guy and won't even tell me why. Oh, Great Pumpkin, what should I do?
The Great Pumpkin, he say, don't worry about it, kid. I'll sneak down the chimney and throw pumpkin seeds all over his picture.
Now, obviously, if you're listening to this, the one thing you must be thinking is this a reference to the Peanuts? Well, as far as I can tell, maybe? This song actually predates It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown by about 5 years, but references to the GP. They say GP, that's short for Great Pumpkin. You see, I shortened it so that I wouldn't have to say Great Pumpkin over and over again. But references to the GP in the Peanuts comic strip actually predate this song, so given the popularity of this strip, there's a good chance it could have played an influence on this song. Or it could all just be a big coincidence.
all around the world it's been said, great, great pumpkin knocks them dead.
Come on, everybody, let's see you and me help the Great Great Pumpkin live on happily. We'll spread his joy all over the USA.
Dear Great Pumpkin, I'm looking forward to your arrival on Halloween night. Say, did Eddie Bell use your name in his song without authorization, or was this all just a big coincidence? Please be sure to note, I'm being as sincere as I possibly can.
My name is the Great Pumpkin. What you want, you sonny boy? I'm very sorry about that cake, cat. You better keep your tail out of the door.
Thanks for watching. Links to all songs I've talked about can be found below. And if I've piqued your curiosity even a little, why not come down to Halloween Town on plug.dj, a social music site where you can hang out with other Halloween music enthusiasts, DJ music for each other, and maybe even make some cool new friends, all while listening to a whole lot more great Halloween time music. Halloween Town has been operating every October, all month long for over 5 years now, so come check it out, if you dare. Links in the description. That was just corny. I'm sorry.